The Democratic Party Platform Committee this year, our guests led the way on securing a pro-marriage equality plank in this party's platform. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce a mayor who fights for you, Mayor Cory Booker.
Good evening, everybody! Oh, I feel the excitement. I'm telling you right now, this room right here has within it the spirit of our common ancestry. I'm not talking about ancestry based upon common blood ties, common religion, common race, but it is the ancestry of spirit that connects us to that spirit of our nation that has driven generation after generation forward over what some thought were insurmountable odds, that took the very definition of America, constrained by limited minds and limited vision, and expanded that definition every generation to be more inclusive. This room right now, while the music might be a little bit better, while y'all might be dressed a little bit fancier, but think about it, this room right here has the same flourishing spirit that church basements had when they were planning and talking and plotting about the freedom of our people. Some of you all might smell really nice, but this room right here has that same spirit as dusky, smelly barns along a road that some call the Underground Railroad, who thought to expand the freedom and the liberty of fellow citizens in America. You see, this is the spirit that gets me excited. It is this unconquerable spirit that when some of us in our nation were told, you aren't good enough, the Spirit stood up and said, yes, I am. It is the Spirit. It is the Spirit. Long before anybody put a political slogan on it, that when this Spirit was told that you cannot do it, this is the Spirit that stood up and said, yes, I can. It's the Spirit that when we were told to take seats in the back of the bus, push their way not to the front, but into the driver's seat to move along the road of freedom in America. This is the Spirit in this room tonight. Y'all should feel it. Somebody should recognize. This is the Spirit that when folks tried to saddle them with shame, tell them that they were less than human, this is the Spirit that stood up and said, you may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dust, but still I rise. This is the Spirit. This is the United States of America. It's not United Airlines where there's first class and coach. This is the United States of America where every citizen should have equal rights, equal citizenship under the law. We have a mission, and we must call forth this Spirit. More than ever before, there is an urgency now. Some folks might feel weary because the road to freedom has never been an easy one. Some folks have scars on their backs. Some folks have pain that still aches in their soul, but we cannot stop. You see, James Baldwin said that human history is a perpetual testimony to the achievement of the impossible, and the impossible dream of America must drive us forward. We must not fail now. When other people want to drive us to despair, we must be the hope. When other people want to drive us to doubt, we must be the faith. Because I've learned this from my family and my parents and my grandparents, that when folks try to tell you you're lesser, when one person stands up straight and strong, they lift an entire nation. When one person defiantly refuses to be relegated to first, second class, we all are elevated in the class of our citizenship. You see, this is what everybody must understand. You cannot deny the rights, freedom, and liberty of others without diminishing your own. This is what we must understand. That what King said from a jail cell in Birmingham rings true for all of us. He said so eloquently that we are all caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny, that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And so I get in weird conversations with my friends. Why are you always talking about gay rights? I said, I'm not talking about gay rights. I'm talking about human rights. I'm talking about my rights. I'm talking about your rights. And you need to understand something. This is what I was taught in my childhood days from parents who understood their own history and that spirit of ancestry that we all share. This is what my parents told me. Son, never forget that we need each other. That you have to understand that you here are a result of a community of courage. You are the result of a mob of hope. You are the result of a conspiracy of love. My father told me that he was a young boy who was born poor. My father has a way of exaggerating, so now he will refuse to say that he was poor. He now tells people I was Po, P-O. I couldn't afford the other two letters. I was just a po boy. He says, son, when my mama couldn't take care of me, it was that community of courage. It was that hope mob. It was that conspiracy of love that looked at me as their child. They didn't look at my race, my gender, my orientation, my religion. They saw me as one of their own and made sure that I had food on my table and a roof over my head. When it was time for me to go to college, people knew that the most valuable natural resource in that community was not oil or gas in the ground. It was the genius of children, and folk put dollar bills in envelopes